Is there any difference between President Paul Biya and Maurice Kamto? Just struggle by opposite me to drop your own comment or your own answer at the comment section. Whether there is any difference between Maurice Kamto and President Paul Biya. Because when you look at President Paul Biya critically, when he started after the coup d'etat in 1983, you discover that President or Maurice Kamto is gradually, all the attitude, the negative attitude of President Paul Biya are being manifested in Maurice Kamto every blessed day, struggling by all possible means to push away all his opponents. That is the very thing he is doing. Yesterday, the militants of his party, that is Cameroon Release Movement, gathered in Yaoundé to elect who will be the flag bearer of that party. And then we knew that Maurice Kamto would take over the leadership because he started fighting for this position since people came out that they want to compete with, because that is the democracy that they keep on preaching every blessed day. Yet they don't want to practice it. He stood alone. He stood unopposed by anybody, and he won 99% as the leader of that party. There were people that he was supposed to stand with, compete that position with, but he dismissed them before the convention. It is terrible. And then when I saw thousands of people gather around him, celebrating him, I said, oh, Cameroon, where are we leading to? That somebody would demonstrate a negative attitude openly, that nobody can oppose him, yet we gather around him and give him the support. Is there any difference between President Paul Biya and Maurice Kamto? Meaning, if he is the president of Cameroon today, and any Cameroonian stand to oppose him, he will send that Cameroonian to prison. Because in his own party, in which he says he is practicing democracy, he refused to stand with somebody. And when Doki Michel say she want to compete with and fight for that position with Maurice Kamto said you cannot do it. And before the convention, he dismissed her from the party. And when Barrister, a thankful Richard, stood up and said, okay, see, Doki Michel is not there, I'm going to stand and compete with you, he dismissed thankful Richard from the party. And he stood alone, all alone. So if Maurice Kamto happened to be the president of Cameroon today, will there be any difference between him and President Paul Biya? That anybody will oppose him, he would put the person in prison. And if he is starting with this attitude, meaning there might be no opposition party in Cameroon, Cameroon might return to one-party system because he does not want any opposition. He does not want anybody to oppose him. This is Cameroon for us Cameroonians. I keep on saying that all the 369 political parties in Cameroon, there is no genuine political party that can liberate the people of Cameroon. Cameroon needs someone with a vision, someone who is not selfish, someone to liberate their nation. And it will not happen through voting, because nobody can defeat the CPDM, not just one person. All what they are doing are for their own selfish interest, to benefit. Maurice Kamto is aware that he cannot defeat the CPDM. And if Maurice Kamto wants to show to us that truly he is a leader, he was arrested alongside more than 200 militants of his own party. They were taken to prison for committing the same crime. Maurice Kamto went to prison, struggled by all possible means because he has connection and money, and free himself and some few of those he desire and need them in his party. And more than 150 something militants of Cameroon Renewal Movement are still in prison today. I think around 2 or 3 died in prison. Maurice Kamto went for their burial, and have not struggled by any means to release those who are still in prison, in which they committed the same crime. I keep on asking, how can you release somebody who is the leader of a gang, and then you allow his own supporter or his boy or the children within in the prison? Maurice Kamto was the leader of those people. They all were arrested because of Maurice Kamto. Then Maurice Kamto was released from prison, and they remain in prison. Some died in prison. Some are still suffering in prison up to today. But Maurice Kamto have never gone to court for one day. He kept on sending untrained lawyers because he's not paying them to go and fight for those people, just pretending, and they remain there. The very means he used to be free from prison, he cannot use it because of his selfish interests. This man cannot be the president of Cameroon. This man will be worse than President Paul Biya. He is terrible and worse than President Paul Biya. And thousands of Cameroonians gathering and celebrating him, calling him president. You are calling your destiny down. If Maurice Kamto take over power in Cameroon, we will cry for President Paul Biya.